have 3 minutes, so I won't talk real fast. No, but see, my wife and I moved to Maryland back in the early 70s. And I have to think about this all the time because I just seen one of the Skyway's sitting here, so I got to do it right. I was working with the Hollywood Ponies from North Carolina, and they said, we're going to go to Southern Maryland to a barbecue. I said, okay, I didn't know anybody in Southern Maryland. And they took me down, and they introduced me to Billy Red Wing Thad. And with saying that, I'm going to tell you something. He took me into his den where he had his books and everything. And he showed me about our family. It was written. I've never seen anything written about our family. And I came back and he told me, he said, now I need you to go to Millsboro, Delaware and talk to the Nanticoke. Well, I went to Millsboro. And this little guy came out and he said, who are you? Well, in our culture, I don't know if everybody's saying, but you don't tell them who you are, you tell them who your parents are. And I told the gentleman when he asked me, he said, who are you? I said, well, I'm Anna Carney's grandson. And he spaced it up, and I'm saying, he grabbed me by the arm and took me in the back room. He said, put this boy on the tribal rolls. I don't know if you knew it, but I was on the tribal rolls for about 3 or 4 years, and it was because my grandma was beautiful. So I ain't saying no more about that. But it's funny how things unfolded. I grew up knowing who I was, but I couldn't talk about it. Strict rules. And one day, my 2 aunts, and I told this story over and over again, but it was really important. My 2 aunts came down to visit my grandma. And they sent me upstairs. Well, I didn't go upstairs, I sat on the steps. And I heard these 3 little old ladies talking about what I thought was an atrocity. But they were talking about their family and how they grew up and the things that they had to do that other people didn't have to do. So I just, when Aunt Mabel and Aunt Mary left, I went and said, Nannies, could you tell me about this? She went upstairs and got me 2 objects from the big house ceremony. And she gave them to me. She said, these are for you. And then she told me about the things that they had been protecting us from all this time. I never knew why they didn't talk about their heritage. But see, I'll bet you every one of you guys sitting here have that same story somewhere in your background. And I think that I was fortunate because I was a young man. I didn't know what to do with it until I moved to Maryland and met the Piscataways, the Hollywoods, the Ponies, and it all started to make sense. We were, I'd say 10,000 strong when I was coming up, but there were small groups that were separated from one another from one reason or another. To me, it's trivial now, but it wasn't trivial for them back then days. I knew that I was taught differently than the kids that I played with. Except for Uncle Sonny, I'm sorry. He lived down the street from me. Down the road from me. But the whole thing really came out of, you don't understand why you're being taught what you're being taught. Why you're being punished for doing something outside of what you think you should be doing. Now, my life was jumping off a cliff at the gravel hole, climbing an 80-foot tree, or me and Sonny dug a ditch and put tin over it, and that was our TP. But to me, when I got to high school, my life was so much different than the kids that I was going to school with. And we had special rules that we had to live by, and nobody else had to live by. And if I saw that, here's a young man with a suit on and everything, I would have to say, hello, sir. And I mean, these are the things that nobody else when I was coming up, nobody had to do. No, you better do. Because I was joking earlier, go get that switch, drop your pants. I mean, that's who we were. And it wasn't just my family. It was every family that I went to their house to play. It was the same rules. You better act right. And when I got older, my niece had passed. So I had my mom to talk to me about it. And she said, these are the only things that keeps us from being deteriorated about it. So I had what I call a rough life. No, I had a wonderful life. I did, because I was governed by, if his mom seen me do something wrong, she's going with me. And it's right there. I mean, now I appreciate that. Because I'm not the best child in the world, don't get me wrong. But I think about what I could be if I was left out there like the rest of the people that were handed. That's what I call it. You don't have any rules that are set. We have rules set. I don't know if you guys, you younger ones, are still living like that. My grandchildren. So, darn, I got great grandchildren. So, you know, I tell this story fast because you told me I only had 3 minutes. But the whole thing really comes down to it is the fact we're not different. We just have a way of life that I haven't seen it compared to anything that's happened. We have rules that are unspoken.
Right. Can you put some water on it? When
I was asked, when Dewey Tag said to me, he says, well, Mark, now that you have this information, what are you going to do with it? I was a lost puppy, I was. So I came home and I talked with my mother. And you're going to lose your treatment.
I don't want the baby to cry.
Now, one of the things that most people today realize, those mothers
I don't want her to start crying without it.
kept the house. When it came from tribalism, I looked for people on the council. Yeah, we had a lot of males on the council, but we thought one way. But the women thought a different way. The women were mothers. Women, most people don't really want to admit to it, but most of the women run the house. They know what's necessary to do. Well, our council for many, many years, Annie, why don't you stick up for the fact that you were one of the first councilmen? Yes, a lot of years, but you know what? We're still living with, Uncle Sonny has to work all the time. But the whole thing comes down to it. We would be nothing if it wasn't for the females in our tribe. Harry Jackson's mother was one of the first that went down to Millsboro with me to introduce ourselves. Come to find out we were all cousins. He's Jackson. Where's the Jacksons from? Does anybody here know where Jackson's from? Millsboro. So the other part that we didn't know is that 3 tribes had been marrying back and forth all these years, and we didn't know we were dating our cousins. But there it is. But, hey, why do you think I walk like this?
Well, I know, right?
When I became chief, I would not have the direction to take my people if it wasn't for the females that were with me. There's a whole table, and their mother was one of the main ones. Where's Will? You shook my hand a minute ago. His mother. Is that Wayne? I can't see, man. I got new glasses. His mother. See, I could show you almost the people here today that their mother that did the work. And my mom disciplined me. She was one of the first council. But I'm gonna tell you something. When she said, this is what we need to do, that's the direction we went. So, you know, I wanted to take my time today and not tell you the stories, but I wanted to make sure that all of you knew who was responsible for us being here. Those ladies, women, whatever you want to say, as long as you say it respectfully, they are the ones that carried us, and that's what I'm proud of. So, thank you guys.